Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with commentary editor Conn Carroll. And Conn, the Washington Examiner exclusively obtained documents showing a record number of bodies have been recovered at the southern border this year. Tell us about that and why that is.
Yeah, this is just a tragic story. You have now this is for the fiscal year, so it's when's it in the end of September. So it's only the first 9 months, and already in the first 9 months of this year, you've had more bodies found along the southern border than in any previous 12-month period. So it's just a tragic record that they're breaking here. And to give you a sense of the numbers here, we're talking about 600 so far over the first 9 months, on pace to go over 700. And the most you ever had under Trump was a little less than 200, and that's in 2020. And so what this is all driven by is just this massive swarm of migrants that have been coming to the border to try to get in. Biden has caught and released over 1.3 million of these migrants into the United States, but even more have been turned back away from the border. And it is this crisis that is causing this death toll.
The Supreme Court, before the end of its term, told the Biden administration that they did have the right to end the Remain in Mexico policy that had migrants wait on the southern side of the border for their asylum claims to be adjudicated. Have we heard anything from the Biden administration about them reinstating that, or why are they being quiet on this?
Sure. Well, it's probably because the policy as it was already so small. It was just a pilot program that they had in San Diego. So they had mostly already shut it down way back when Biden first took office back in January. So the reason why they haven't really talked about it is because they've already been implementing their border policies from day one. And so what you have, another great Washington Examiner exclusive, was we got a bunch of photos from one of these processing centers in Eagle Pass, Texas, where the goal is speed. The goal is to get migrants away from the border into these processing centers, fingerprinted, photos taken, and then release them into the United States wherever they want to go. And it is just this constant turn, this revolving door that is acting as just a vacuum, just a great, beacon for migrants to come and get into the United States.
Switching gears a little bit, there was some top-line news this past week that Republicans are trailing Democrats in online fundraising. But you wrote about how it's not necessarily indicative of a lack of enthusiasm on the Republican side. Tell us about that fundraising gap.
Sure. So it's supposed to be a big red wave year. It's supposed to be a great year for Republicans. And for a number of quarters, the Republicans were beating Democrats in online fundraising. But in the last quarter, the Republican number actually fell while the Democratic number went up as far as online donations. And there are a couple theories as to why. One of them is that Donald Trump is out there sucking a lot of money out of email fundraising and that he's really to blame. But another one is that there is record high inflation going on, and that Republican donors are more susceptible to inflation. The interesting reason why is that despite the widespread belief that Republican donors are wealthier than Democratic donors, it's actually the other way around, and that Republican donors are actually much less wealthy than Democratic donors. So they are exactly the type of people that might be hit by inflation, might be decide to cut back on donations because of record high inflation.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.